Hello, welcome to Spotlight on Souris. Today is January 18th, 2024. My name is Laura Higgs, and I'm pleased to have with me today Cindy Scott and Mark Fenwick, who are here to talk to us about Survivor Bonspiel 2024.
Yay.
Welcome, you guys. Really appreciate your time, because I know this is a huge event in Souris. It always has been. So tell me, what are the dates and the theme of this year's Survivor?
This year will be our 24th year of the Survivor Bonspiel. It would have been 26, but we missed a couple of years. Curling starts Wednesday, March 27th and runs till Sunday, March 31st over spring break, and it's also Easter weekend. The theme this year is Canada, eh?
So nice.
We're looking forward to seeing what the costumes are, because
I can just see that.
Yeah, the creativity that always comes out just always blows me away.
That's right.
I'm not creative, so it's nice to see.
That's great. I'm very happy about that. Canada A. My brain started going, whoa, what can we do for theme for that?
There's so many things.
Okay, so how many teams do you typically get every year?
Before COVID, we would get up to over 100 teams. But after COVID, we just kept the curling to the curling club. We're just kind of slowly getting our way back into it. We'd have 48, and last year we had 52. This year, we're going back to the big ice, so we're hoping to get our numbers back up to.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you had lots of men's teams, it looks like, hey?
Yeah. This year we're hoping to get 48 men's teams, 24 women's teams, and 20 masters teams.
Wow.
And then the masters, we've changed it up this year. We're having it as open instead of just men. We're letting the ladies join in too. They can have their own team. They can have a mixed team, whatever they want.
Okay, open masters. Okay.
And they curl on Wednesday and Thursday during the day.
Right.
So
okay.
Hopefully we can get a few more there. And then this year we also have a junior division. So there's an under 13 group and an under 15 group. So there's been a new league started by Corey Barkley in Verdun, the Mansass Sliding Stars, and he's got 17 teams in that age group from 11 towns over southwestern Manitoba and Saskatchewan. So we're hoping we can get some of those kids to come
out. Yeah, to come out. And what days would they be playing then?
They would be playing on March and Thursday. March on the Wednesday and the Thursday.
Okay, Wednesday, Thursday. And is that when the Masters were playing, did you say?
So the Masters curl again, and then the juniors curl.
Okay.
And then they alternate.
Okay, back and forth.
Yeah.
All right, so if you come to the complex to watch the kids, stick around for the Masters and vice versa.
Absolutely. And it's during spring break, so the kids are all off anyway.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
Perfect. The place will probably be filled with kids as it is.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Cheaper than Disneyland.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a question here that says, you have any other results from a survey? What survey was done? Can you tell me more about that?
Last year after Survivor, we gave a survey to all the curlers and said, what can we do? What can we do to make it better? What do you like? What don't you like? Is there something that you like about it?
Okay.
60% of them said, we want to get curling back on the arena ice.
Okay.
So this year we're going to do that.
Okay. Do they have somebody who's now taking care of the ice this year? I know for many years it was Colin was doing it, right?
Yeah, he's going to look after the curling club side.
Okay.
And then we've got a couple of guys hired from Brandon to look after the arena side. Because
it's a big job.
It's huge, and it's physically demanding.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're all getting older.
Yeah, we are. But 10 years ago, there was lots of us used to show up to help with that kind of stuff. And
exactly.
It was a good sort of pre-Survivor.
Yeah. And we just didn't want to we want to have the extra sheets of ice. And if we don't need the curling club ice, we'll just go on the arena ice. Like, people like the arena experience. Yep. And there's more people around, right?
There's far more places to watch too.
Exactly.
Out there. Like you can be out on near the ice and behind the glass, and even from the lounge part, you can see it going on down there.
It allows more community involvement, more spectators, and
yeah, for sure. So that was the biggest thing out of that survey that came, was about the.
And they like the socializing.
Okay.
The socials. Last year we had just one social on the Saturday night.
But typically there's two in a year, right?
So this year we're going back to 2.
Okay.
We're going to have a social on Thursday night. We've got the clubbing Fraggles booked from Brandon.
Good.
Friday night is in the lounge. We have the Lone Wolf, Lyle Baldwin, He's proven to be pretty popular up there.
Okay.
It was packed last year, I believe.
Yep.
And then on Saturday night, we have the Sean Taylor Band out of Winnipeg. So those are also open to the public. Curlers get in free, and non-curlers have to pay a cover charge. So
It's perfectly acceptable.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with that. So Thursday, a social, Friday, the lounge singer.
Yep.
rest day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, exactly, for those volunteers. And then Saturday again,
Yeah.
the
The
hall.
social, yeah. Because it's Good Friday, nobody has to work on Good Friday.
Right.
So everybody will be at the complex on Friday too. So
Yeah.
we're hoping to have our banquet then, for the curlers at least, the curlers and the sponsors.
Sure.
And we're still working on whether we can make it a community event or not. We're just, it's kind of hard to do.
But, you know, like you say, we took the couple of years off, COVID years off, to get back into the swing of things. You need to do it one thing at a time. Otherwise, you're going to try to do everything and something will crumble, right?
Yeah.
Some rules have changed since COVID as well, as far as volunteers and where food could be.
Oh,
Yeah.
exactly.
We used to have the food brought in and the desserts brought in,
Yeah.
and a lot of that's changed. It has to be
Okay.
made on site or whatever. And,
Right.
and food costs too. Like, are people going to want to pay $25 for a supper ticket? I don't know. Like,
Right.
everybody knows that food's gone up crazy.
Yep, yep.
So hopefully,
Or maybe this year they can provide for themselves, or at least you can take care of the curlers and the public can fend for
Yeah.
themselves.
yeah.
There's nothing wrong
So
with that.
we
It-
don't know.
Spread out into the community anyway.
Yeah, we're still
sure.
working on it. So
Okay, okay.
yeah.
So how many volunteers are involved? And can just anyone come and help? I can volunteer?
Anybody can volunteer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's
Yeah.
all kinds of jobs. We got some of our sponsors work bar shifts. That way, there's also people helping clean ice. This year,
Okay.
hopefully, if there's a meal, they'll be working in the kitchen and that type
Sure.
of thing and serving food.
Sure,
There's all, yeah, we can always use, if somebody wants to help, we can find a job for them.
great.
Yeah.
Okay. Always lots to do.
Yep.
Okay, but your committee, how big is your committee that's working on this?
Smaller every year.
It gets a little smaller. We've got some new people on there, some younger people on there, so that's kind of encouraging to
Good,
see.
because they're our future.
Yep.
Yeah, because there's some on here that have been there since day one. So that's 26 years of,
Oh, dear.
yeah,
Oh, dear.
yeah. So
Let's not tire them out.
yeah, and we've got a lot in the curling club. We've got quite a few young teams coming up, and so we're kind of getting them encouraged to take part and help out. Just
Sure.
baby steps, put up signs, help go get rocks, whatever we
Yep.
need to do. So it's kind of
But they're
encouraging.
the future of our club.
Exactly. And everybody wants Survivor to keep going, so that's.
They sure do. Well, they do, and communities around us. We're well known for this,
Yeah.
this particular event
Yeah.
here. So your volunteers, you have them broke down into different groups, like are you in charge of the volunteers that do the kitchen? Are you in charge of the volunteers that do the rocks and stuff like that? You guys all have,
Yeah. I don't know if I'd say in charge. There's a large
there
group.
has to be a guidance person someplace.
Yes.
Everybody, all our committee members each have their own area and they have their own people and they kind
Okay.
of,
And
they all,
some of them have done it long enough that I don't want to say it just happens, but some of it just
it
happens.
just happens,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
And
fair.
it works so well, like
Yep.
these guys do sponsorship, you give them the list and we all have the names or whatever, they go out, get the sponsorship and it's amazing. Colin does the ice, he has a list up for ice crew, sweepers, whatever. It doesn't always get filled, but there's always somebody there to sweep ice
Yeah.
and scrape ice at the end of the day
Yeah.
or whatever. And people just show up.
They
And we
do.
put up sign-up sheets for people to sell tokens in the lounge. It's not a hard job. People, you don't even have to be a curler. Nobody, like community people, love doing that job.
That's right, because it's a people job.
Yep.
And you get to see people and
Pretty much everybody, at least everybody who
Everybody-
who has a drink anyway.
exactly, see them once or twice.
Or see them going by in the hall. Yeah, it's a good people
Yeah,
who like people job.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay. So the community is getting involved, right?
Yep, very
Okay.
much so, yep.
Now, you're talking sponsors. How do they do that?
Sponsors, some donate prizes. We have some who'll work shifts in the bar. They've done it long enough now that if they say yes, I don't even have to ask, they know what night they're working for a lot of them. They've
Okay.
done it, we've got some that have likely almost every year, we've had the big big Bonspiel going. They've worked the same night,
Right.
pretty much. So
Right, I've seen different groups up there, like Elks, I think, or one group. and
I
Yeah.
would
Was
say
it-
there's likely.
Used to be Big Way, I think, took a night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they would do
I
night, because they
recall.
would have a wing
Yeah.
night or.
Yep, Integra Tire always takes a
Yeah.
bar shift.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'd
And-
say there's likely 25 different groups attend bar throughout the week. I would think
Really?
would likely be a safe guess. Yep. Yep.
And with the dances in the hall, you have two sets of bartenders, so you have one still in the Kirkup Lounge, and then you have another set down there, and you have two sets of people selling tokens, and you have,
Right.
Yeah.
And you're talking a shift, like I remember helping with selling tokens, and we had a shift of 2 hours or
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 hours or something we could
Yeah.
sign up for. It's not like you're signing up to be at that desk for 24 hours.
no,
Right.
no,
No.
no.
You
No,
take
the
it in.
ones, some ones that signed up to work in the evening, they know they're there for a set amount of hours, but we have some bar shifts as short as an hour and a half or two, depending on how things
Yeah.
work out and what they
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
work. Yep.
Yeah.
And
it's-
sometimes of the day are busier than others.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and some people prefer to work the day shifts when the masters are curling or whatever. It's a little quieter, but you still need somebody there.
Yeah.
So,
And we get some groups, they can get a large enough group that they prefer to work the socials.
yeah.
Yes,
Have
Yeah.
Everybody.
because that got a big enough group, then they can take their own breaks and they don't have to, and then
Yeah,
they're
you're
still
looking
there.
at 6 or 8 people to keep things going
Sure.
if it's busy. Yep.
Sure.
And then
sure.
we hire, last year we had the rugby club doing hot dogs at the dance.
Mhm.
And the firemen, we had them as security. So
Oh.
we pay out, like
Huh?
just to keep everybody involved and farm it out so that we don't have to do all the work.
That's
because
right.
We don't need to be doing security and cooking hot dogs
No.
and,
No.
Yeah, you
and
can't.
we used to have the Boy Scouts do sandwiches and stuff during the day. Like, it's always been kind of a community thing,
Mhm.
so.
Yeah.
But I would really like to have another banquet for the community, because I think they miss that.
There's
Yeah.
been lots of requests, but we can't
Yeah.
make everything happen at
Yeah.
once.
Right.
So we're working on
Right,
it.
so
but-
maybe, yeah, this year is unsure, but maybe next year it can be
Yeah.
worked out.
Well, we're trying hard,
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
so,
okay, well, we'll keep an eye on that,
yeah.
and then we can always publicize that and put it on our public,
great.
our public announcements as well,
Sure.
for sure. So, where do the proceeds for Survivor go?
Mostly back into the curling club. Our membership has gone down. We have about 100 members in the curling club right now, so 100 members can't pay our rent and our ice fees and all the fees that go into having a curling club. So if we didn't have Survivor, our curling club would only last a couple, 3 years. And if we ever had a compressor go down or something, like Survivor pays for a lot of the things that we have to do. So it kind of keeps us going, because we don't usually make money without it, so.
No. I don't think there's many curling clubs do make money without.
Yeah, and a
Without-
lot of them are
Right,
Yeah.
closing down.
they are,
So-
I saw on Facebook a one sheet in, I want to say Rosewood or something.
Roseland,
Roseland?
they're having a
Yeah.
Bonspiel.
Yeah, near
Yeah.
Brandon, and it was just a one sheet, and
Yep.
I guess it was well-used over this many
Oh,
years, that place.
And it's a great little Bonspiel. It lasts for 2 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah,
If
well,
the weather
And-
cooperates.
And
Yeah.
everybody takes their turn they have a supper there every night, and it's
Oh.
just a great little community event,
yeah,
so.
yeah, I was just reading about that on
It keeps
Facebook.
people in the community. We were just talking outside, and
Mhm.
one of the gals is a new curler, and she says she's new to town, and she's meeting so many people. Aside from her job, she's meeting all these people from curling, so.
Yeah.
And a few nights ago, I was talking to a young guy, and he says, I'm getting tired of hockey. He says, it's getting hard on my body, and it's late. He says, I want late nights. I want to get curling, maybe.
Yeah,
It's a great sport. You can do it till you're 80,
yeah, and you don't have to go to the after party. You're welcome to go to the
You're
after party,
welcome.
but you don't have to.
Exactly.
If you
can-
needed to get home early.
Yeah, if you have a job the next day and you have to
Yeah.
be up, you don't have to. Like, curling in the evenings is a good
Yeah.
community thing. It's a good,
It is
Yeah.
very much so. I even hear that when they curl on Wednesday nights, I think that the Legion stays open for that particular night because they all go over and
Yes.
have
Yep.
time together.
For league,
right?
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for the league. So I think that's great. It also keeps our community going because the
That's right.
Legion has some days where they're not very busy and they close down early.
yep,
So
they
that's
do.
just the way
They
it
close
is.
at 6, so.
It's just the way it is.
Yep.
So do you have any trouble finding sponsors to help defray the costs or donate prizes to the Bonspiel or?
I wouldn't say we have trouble, but we don't have trouble finding sponsors, but I don't want to make it sound like it's super easy to find sponsors either. But there are some that year after year they've committed, they will do it.
Yeah.
There's always some, it always changes, the list of sponsors changes every year. Some always increase what they're donating, some lower it, some come in, some go away. So the list is always changing a certain amount.
Right.
But-
I guess it depends on their view of things.
Yep.
Like a business might say, well, we've had a bad year, so I can only give you this much. So, I mean, if they've had a bad year, so
Yep.
COVID.
Understandable.
Yep.
Totally,
Yep.
but they still want to be involved. And some of them might be a newer or change owners or whatever and don't have that same enthusiasm for sports,
Yep.
maybe. And so
Right.
they pull their sponsorship, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So it really depends on the heart of the person that you're asking
Yep.
to
Yeah.
give and donate, right?
And-
It's not like we're asking for strictly a cash donation, because I said there's some work the bar shifts, some donate prizes, and some a mix of
Right.
the three
Mix
is
of
with
both.
Right.
cash, right? So
Right. So depending on
yep.
how they see things and how their business is going and where their
Yeah.
heart is as far as
And
sports.
what they see as a return from it, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and some of the sponsors donate product that we auction off in our silent auction or whatever, like crazy amounts of.
Yep. We had like some of the egg companies will donate seed. Like we've had some donate. There'd be $1,000 or $1,500 bag of seed.
Wow.
We had one company last year donated a roll of drainage tile, which I believe the suggested price was
Wow.
$2,600.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
like the support is incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
For sure. And the sponsors all get some type of publicity out of
Oh, yes.
that as
Absolutely.
well, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like you guys post their names and
Yep,
thank them and.
we different size signs for different levels of sponsorship.
Right.
The top tier sponsorship, their signs have stayed up on the curling club under the sports or under the scoreboards for the year.
Sure.
So we're always trying to find different ways of doing it, and we're back out on the arena this year, so we're going to try to have the set signs on the curling club as well, and have something
great.
different out in the arena as
Oh,
well.
great.
Like we
Okay.
used to paint all the sponsors' names in the ice.
Yeah, I remember.
But that takes a large number of people for a few hours in the weekend, so we're hoping to cut out that. and-
Sure.
Yeah.
we're getting
Yeah.
too old
Sure.
for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was great to see it when you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
going
once it
across
was done,
areas,
it was
but-
amazing.
Yes.
It looked really
And
good.
especially from up here
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
bleachers, you
Yeah.
could, it was a great sight.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
yeah,
It's-
people can read them on the wall just the same as they could read them on
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
ice. So
exactly.
I hear what you're
So-
saying,
Yeah.
but.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
just make it less time consuming and kind of,
Well,
Yeah.
and you're also honoring your volunteers that way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
you're still trying to honor your sponsors by posting them up, but you're honoring
Yeah.
your volunteers and the time they've committed to you.
Yeah.
You don't want to overuse that.
No,
should
exactly.
I say?
abuse them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to be careful with them because you want them coming back.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right, Souris? But you know, I found this town is great for volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
This town is really, really good for volunteers. Got something that is really close to your heart and you want to share that with people, there's just a ton of people that'll come out. And if you notice my Facebook, Souris Manitoba Talks, there's so many new people in our town.
Yeah, just moved to Souris. Where can I find this? Where can
Yep.
I know, how many times have you
Yeah.
seen that? A lot lately.
Yeah.
So we are a going community.
Yeah, and it's nice to see the people coming out and the non-curlers, like the people that don't curl, have anything to do with the curling club, come and support it and put in their time and do a few things and
Yeah.
just want to be a part of it.
That's right.
And it's really fun to see.
That's right. Because Souris is a great volunteer community, but it's also a fun community.
Yes.
Just so you know, people, come on out to
Yeah,
Souris.
come Survivor Bonspiel spring break.
That's right. Spring break 2024. Come on out to Souris at the complex right here, and you'll have a great time. Thank you, Mark and Cindy, for coming
You're
and
welcome.
sharing
Thank you,
with
Laura.
us. We really, really appreciate your time.
Good.
Okay? Thank you very much for joining us here on Spotlight in Souris. Stay warm, everybody.